Welcome to this simple sequence yoga class, which is full of foundational yoga poses which are all suitable for beginners. Doing this class daily or frequently will be a great way to work on your flexibility and core strength. A block would be very useful for this class if flexibility is not yet your forte. So we're going to start in a simple cross-legged seat. You can stick the block underneath your sit bones if you need a little bit more space in your hips to let yourself be comfortable in this shape. Let your hands rest comfortably into your lap and then your shoulders to rest down away from your ears. You can close your eyes for a moment if you want to, or you could just keep your gaze down towards your mat. Take a nice deep breath in, filling your lungs. Feel some extra space within your torso. And as you breathe out, allow yourself to soften, but maintaining that nice tall spine. Maintain your posture, broadness across your chest. And then with your next inhale, let your arms circle wide. Reach your arms to the sky, gaze up towards your hands. And then as you exhale, let your right hand come down onto the floor next to you. Give a little lean out towards that hand and then roll your left shoulder back so you're looking up and underneath that left armpit. Think of drawing those fingertips up and away from the body as you keep your left sit bone firmly down against the block or the mat. Focusing your breath into that left side, breathing in and breathing out. And then as you breathe in, come all the way up. That arm in the sky is going to place behind your hips, your right hand to spin across to your opposite knee. And as you pull or press against that leg, looking over your left shoulder into a seated twist. Use that left hand behind you to keep your chest stacked on top of your ribs so you're sitting nice and tall. Use your breath in to lengthen upwards. And your breath out to keep twisting, narrowing in at the waist to allow your body to turn. Great. Coming all the way back round to center to the other side. Breathing in, arms go tall, gazing up. Breathing out, left hand onto the floor next to you, either onto fingertips or your palm. A little lean across towards that side. And you can find more length in this right side through drawing the arm away from your body than you can by forcing your body closer to the floor. So keep allowing yourself to pull the arm away from the ribs and pin that shoulder blade back. Staying here for one more breathing in. Breathing out, that hand goes behind your hips, your left hand spins across to your outer of the right knee. Giving it a little press, use the fingertips behind you to keep your body weight coming slightly forwards towards your shins. Breathing in, lengthen out the spine, grow tall. And breathing out to keep allowing yourself to twist. And then coming all the way back round to center, you can either spin your legs round or maybe roll over your knees. So you're coming into tabletop. I'll just turn around to face the same way as you guys. Your hands to come underneath your shoulders, so stacking your weight over your hands and your hips above your knees. So you're making a nice square shape with the body. So as it's a square shape, we're pulling the belly up and away from the floor, trying to gently flatten out the lower spine. So you're already starting to engage your core. And then with your first inhale, let your ribs dip down to the mat. Lift your chest, look forwards as your sit bones press to the sky. Using your exhale to round the back, chin pulls under, tailbone tucks under, and really broaden your shoulder blades. Again, as you breathe in, ribs are down, chest is up, shoulder blades pinched together. And breathing out to round, hollowing out the front of the body, really pressing your spine to the sky. Again, breathing in. And one more to breathe out. Great, these are your cat and cow spinal rotations. We'll do one more here. Breathing in, sit bones go tall, ribs push low. And breathing out to round, strong and straight into the arms. Let yourself come back to a straight spine. Step your left hand ever so slightly forwards. Your right arm is going to go underneath the armpit. Palm faces the sky. Let yourself come to rest onto the shoulder and the side of the head. And then your left hand can walk towards the top of the mat to straighten out as you twist and look under the body. Now you're very welcome to stay here into the twist. Keep turning your chest towards the side. Or maybe you want to breathe in. Send that left arm towards the sky to deepen the twist a little further. Feel like your body weight is slightly rolling backwards so you can feel that broadness across your upper body. Gently press this right shoulder down for your stability. Holding the twist, breathe in. And then breathing out, draw that left hand down, use it to unravel and switching sides so your right hand steps a little forwards. Your left arm goes underneath, palm to the sky. Give yourself a moment to get comfortable on the side of your shoulder and the side of your head. And then either walk the right hand away from you Thinking of keeping the armpit as far away from the floor as you can, so lift up, or you can breathe in and the right arm can go to the sky. Sending your nice deep breaths all the way down into your belly, so force the breath into those spaces that feel tricky. Softly breathing out, try not to let the breath rush away from you. One more, breathing in. And then breathing out. Right hand comes down, push your way back into tabletop, finding again that nice square shape, lightly engaging the core, drawing the belly up towards the spine. Now, keeping your gaze down towards the mat where your hands are, send your left leg out behind you, aiming to keep it about parallel with the floor, and then your right arm to reach forwards. And again, keep your gaze down so your spine stays long. Keep your belly hugging up and away from the floor, so you've got a nice long line. Breathe in, keep growing longer. Breathing out, draw your knee and elbow together under your body for a little tap. If you want to make this harder, make it your knee and nose, so you have to get much closer in. Breathing in, re-expand, reaching out. Breathing out, curling the spine, tapping the limbs underneath, maybe pulling the nose under as well. Breathing in, lengthen. And breathing out to round, hollowing out the front of the belly, really rounding the spine. Good, this time as you breathe in, reach the limbs back out, then bend your back knee. The hand is going to come to try and find your foot behind your back. And once you've got it, kick that foot towards the sky, lift your chest, look forwards. So this is tiger pose. If you're struggling to reach your foot, as in your arm can't quite find it, you can use a strap to hook around your foot and to hold the strap instead. Keep drawing your chest forwards as you look forwards and use the strength in that left leg to push towards the sky to find lift in your foot. Holding for one more breath in. And then breathing out, letting go, gently bringing the limbs back to the floor and re-find that tabletop, drawing your belly up. Right leg reaches out. And your left arm reaches forwards. Breathe in, elongate. Breathing out, knee and elbow, maybe knee and nose. Breathing in, reach it back out, keep your gaze to the mat. Breathing out, round your spine, curl the limbs under. One more, breathing in, reach it out. And breathing out, curling your knee in towards your chest and your thigh up towards your belly. Breathe in, send the limbs all the way back out, bend the knee, hand finds the foot behind you, use a strap if you can't quite reach. And then breathing in, kick towards the sky, lift your chest. Use the strength of the kick to open and stretch to the front side of the left chest, squeezing through your hamstrings, your glutes, all the muscles along the back line of your leg to help your leg lift and kick higher. Holding here, breathing in and breathing out. Great. Let go of that leg, bringing it back to the floor into your tabletop. Just step your knees back ever so slightly. Then tuck your toes behind you. Lift your knees off of the mat. Lift your hips towards the sky as you press your thighs backwards, coming into downward facing dog. So down dog is this upside down V shape. The thighs are pushing backwards, the heels are pressing down, and we're trying to open the armpits nice and wide, so really press your chest back towards your thighs. Keep a soft bend in the knees so that we can keep the spine nice and long rather than straightening the legs and causing the spine to round. Heels are nice and heavy, push down through the whole palm of your hand. Hold here as you breathe in. And softly breathing out, keep your neck nice and soft. The head is dangling between the arms. Hold for one more here, breathing in. As you breathe out, walk your hands to the back of the mat to come to meet your feet. The heels touch down, the knees stay bent, so the belly and the thighs stay squished together. And then hanging your arms loosely in front of your legs, or maybe crossing your arms if that's more comfortable, to come into a ragdoll fold at the back of your mat. Let your neck be nice and loose so your head is hanging freely. You can stay stationary, or maybe you want to softly sway the body from left to right, noticing how that stretches one hamstring a little bit more than the other from one side to the next. Keep the breath nice and steady, focusing on a nice deep breath all the way in and a slow breath all the way out. And then releasing your arms, let your hands come back to the floor. This time, as we walk the hands out, we're going to come all the way into plank. So your shoulders come with your wrists to come on top of the wrists. The heels stay pushing out backwards, the tailbone stays tucked. So we've got a nice long line from the crown of the head down to the back heels. Keep pulling that belly up towards your spine, broadening your shoulder blades across your upper back. So feel like you're trying to push your spine towards the sky between your shoulder blades. Holding your plank, breathing in and breathing out. Great. Now from here, dropping your knees to the mat into a supported plank, which notably is not the same as tabletop. Supported plank is like a shortened plank. The weight is still mostly into the arms. Now the weight is going to tip forwards just beyond the wrists. Keep your elbows hugging in towards your ribs. Your tailbone stays tucked and your body is coming all the way down to the floor. And ideally, your belly and chest find the floor at the same time so that your bum's not left behind into the sky. Now reach out through your toes, engage your legs, and as you inhale, float your chest, float your hands and look forwards into baby cobra. So we're thinking of the muscles around the lower spine, squeezing them to help lift the upper body. Still keeping those legs engaged, reach out through the toes. Holding your chest up here, take another breath in. And then as you breathe out, let your hands come back down. Push your way via your knees, tuck the toes back under behind you, lift the hips to the sky and come back into your down dog. Good, couple of breaths. You can let your legs wiggle out a little if your hamstrings are still feeling a little tight, like they just want a little extra stretch out. But then let your legs become still. The heels don't touch the floor. The hips push towards the sky. We keep a soft bend in the knees so we can keep a nice long stretch along the back line of the legs. So from your down dog, with an inhale, let your right leg lift towards the sky into a three-legged dog. Keep the pelvis facing the floor so that you're not rolling your hip open towards the side. On the exhale, draw that leg under the body, placing it between the hands at the top of the mat. If it doesn't quite make it there by itself, pick it up, put it there, and then drop your back knee down to the floor. Front knee stays roughly on top of the front ankle. Back toes stay tucked under. As you breathe in, lift your chest, reach your arms to the sky and gaze up towards them. So into your low lunge where we're stretching through the front of the left hip and thinking of lengthening the torso towards the sky. So you're drawing your ribs up and away from your hips as your hips are drawing down towards the mat. We're squeezing through the left glutes, so the muscles on the back side, the left hip, and keep pressing into the ball of that back foot as though you were going to sprint forwards. Holding here, breathing in. And then breathing out, let your hands come down to the floor to come either side of your front foot. Now we're coming into half splits, so if hamstrings aren't your forte, bring your block with you. So you're shifting your hips back for the hips to come on top of the knee, not really any further, but don't be too sort of picky about it. So we either want to rest our hands to the floor to give us support because it's not a balancing pose. So if the floor is too far away and we can't quite reach, take the block, and obviously the taller the block, the better, to give you more space. The toes are going to draw up towards the shin, up towards the body. The leg does not need to be straight. I can stretch my hamstrings with a bent knee, so most people can. Sit bones push out behind you, and we're strongly pressing the heel down into the floor. Each time you breathe in, think of lengthening your spine. Your chest is pulling forwards towards the front of the mat. And each breath out, if you want to deepen, you're strengthening the push of the heel down into the mat, or you're deepening the compression of the belly towards the thigh. Take another nice deep breath in, think length, think straight spine. Breathing out to hold. Great. Use your inhale, come back to the top of the mat towards the lunge, pop the block out the way for the time being. Hands either side of the foot, lift your back knee and step your foot straight back into down dog. So hips to the sky, thighs pressing back, and a nice strong press into the whole palm of the hand. With the left leg this time, inhale, send it to the sky. Keep it nice and straight. The hip, the knees, the toes stay facing towards the floor. As you breathe out, draw that foot underneath the body, placing it between the hands. Like I say, give it help if it doesn't quite make it there by itself yet. Drop the back knee down, keep the toes tucked under, and make sure we've got the alignment of the front knee on top of the front ankle. Inhale into your low lunge, draw the chest up, arms reach overhead, gazing up if you like, or you can keep your gaze forwards if the balance is feeling kind of wobbly. Dropping the hips towards the front line of the mat, squeezing through the muscles on the back of that right leg. Using your inhales, draw the arms higher. See if you can squeeze your head between your arms, really reach. Breathing out, keep the arms moving back. Sort of aim towards behind the ears. It doesn't matter where they are, it's just the intention of where you're sending your body. One more here, breathing in. And then breathing out. Hands come back to the floor, either side of the front foot. Bring that block with you if it was useful on the other side. Shift your hips back so your hips are on top of your back knee. Hands to rest anywhere that's comfortable and feels balanced. And then importantly, pull the toes as best you can up towards your shin, up towards your face, and your chest to lengthen forward. So maybe even look forwards. As we look down and back, it tends to round our spine, and our spine mimics where we gaze. So look forwards and draw forwards. We're pressing the heel down into the mat, and you might notice that the stronger you do that, the more that you can kind of feel it into the back of that left thigh. Inhale, find that space, find that length. Exhale to soften, or maybe to strengthen if you're looking for more. One more here, breathe in. And then breathing out, rock back forwards, leaving the block towards the top of the mat, lifting this foot and stepping back into down dog. So from your down dog this time, we'll go with the left leg again. Inhale, lift it to the sky. As you exhale, stepping that foot to the top of the mat, between the hands as best you can. Now you might want to bring your block with you because again, we're getting into the hamstrings. We're going to walk the hands to the right side of the mat and turn the toes to face with us. So now all toes are facing the same direction, off towards the right. We can rest our fingertips to the block if the floor is too far away, otherwise let your fingertips rest down. Now, let your toes turn ever so slightly inwards, so your outer edge of your foot is in line with the outer edge of your mat. Keeping your quads engaged as best you can, so lift your kneecaps up towards your hips. Take a nice deep breath in. Think of your chest pulling forwards as your sit bones roll out behind you, lengthening your spine, tabletop. Now, if your hamstrings and your inner thighs are already stretching here, then stay here. Otherwise, as you exhale, you can think of deepening the fold. Maybe that means you can step a little lower onto your block. Maybe that means you can get rid of the block. Maybe that means that your belly can drop a little closer to your thighs and your hands can walk a little further back as you drop your chin towards your chest, keeping your neck nice and soft. In our wide-legged fold here, the weight is slightly forwards towards the balls of the feet and towards the toes. You have to press them down to maintain your balance, no forward rolls here, but the weight is that little bit further forward so the back of the legs can stay feeling long. Sit bones towards the sky as the crown of the head lengthens away from the pelvis. Holding here, breathing in and breathing out. Great. Bring yourself back to that halfway rise point. So maybe that's fingertips to the floor, maybe that's onto a block for you. A nice flat and straight spine is what we're looking for. We're going to leave the left hand down onto the block or the floor underneath the nose so the spine is staying parallel to the floor. With an inhale, the right arm is reaching up towards the sky, gazing up towards the hand, and think of turning your chest. Now the torso is rotating here, but the pelvis isn't. So to try and keep our pelvis from following the twist, think of your left sit bone and push it a little bit backwards. That's going to help keep it straight. Take another nice deep breath in, keep turning. And then breathing out, return that right hand down, come straight to the other side. So inhale, left arm, reach it up, turn the torso, turn the gaze, and this time it's the right sit bone that you'll want to focus on sending a little bit further back. Each breath in keeps your chest drawing a long way away from your hips. And then breathing out for your hands to come back to the floor. Good, or your block. So walk your hands back the way that you came towards the top of your mat. You again pop the block out of the way. So turn all toes to face the same direction so you're facing forwards. And then this left foot that's at the top of the mat, walk it towards the very edge and turn the foot ever so slightly outwards. It can point off the mat, that's okay. Now the back foot, we're going to step in to mirror that foot. So take your hands forwards, step that right foot in, toes turn out. Now we're sinking the hips down towards the heels into a little yogi squat. Now if this is not accessible to you, you can take your block, put it behind your bum so you have somewhere to sit that's going to stop you falling back onto your bum. Alternatively, you can narrow your feet, stay onto the balls of your feet and let your heels lift. I personally recommend the heels down with the block under your bum as a better option, so you can start to work into opening your hips into this shape. So wherever you are, let your hands come together. And then as you lower your hands towards the mat, let your elbows come to the inner thighs to push the knees that little bit wider. We're thinking of transferring the weight into the outer edges of the feet, so towards the little toe edges. Thinking of lifting the inner arches and stacking the ribs on top of the hips, so a nice long, straight spine. The thighs are driving wide, and you can keep your gaze upwards. Holding here, breathing in and breathing out. And then just one more, breathing in. Great, breathing out. We're going to come down onto our bums, so you can use your hands to support your way down or let your knees come together until your bum finds the floor. With your knees bent and your feet onto the mat in front of you, reach your arms forwards as a bit of a counterbalance. The chin stays to the chest, tailbone tucks under. My microphone's in the way. Roll your way all the way down onto your back until your shoulders and the back of your head come to the floor as well. Curl your knees in towards your chest and give yourself a little squeeze, making the legs as small in towards your body as you can. Then placing the right foot onto the mat, the knee stays bent, the left ankle to cross over that thigh, making a figure 4 shape with your legs. Keep the top foot flexed, toes back towards your shins, and either use your left hand to push the knee away from you and stay there, or if you've got more space, you can curl the right thigh in towards you and interlace your hands around the back of the thigh or the front of the shin. One arm between the hole in your legs, one arm around the outside. Make sure your head stays down and you're pulling your shoulder blades down towards the floor so your spine is staying long and straight against the mat. This stretch should be in the outer of your left hip, sort of around your bum. So if you're feeling any pressure in your knee, just release the leg a little. We don't want to feel anything in the knee here. Lower back stays pushing down against the floor, and if you're looking for a deeper stretch, press this ankle against the thigh to really sort of sandwich them together. Hold for one more, breathing in. And then breathing out, pop that foot back down and simply switch sides. Left foot stays down, right ankle crosses over the thigh. Knee pushes away from us as the foot flexes. Option to curl that left leg in and to take the bind around the thigh or the shin. Pushing the ankle and the thigh together if you want to, and keep thinking of that right knee moving away from you. Lower back, the underside of your hips stay pushing down against the floor and breathing here. Can you read the laptop for me again? Yeah. So I did wide-legged fold, I did twisted wide-legged fold, I did Malasana, did that. What was after Malasana? The pigeon. Yeah, I'm in that now. Supine. Excellent, nearly done then. La, 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 la. Very well pronounced. Stay for your, oh hang on. I can't clap because I'm interlaced. Should I clap?
Just shout really loud.
Ah! Last inhale here. And then exhale, releasing that foot down. Let both feet come onto the mat. And then bringing your feet together, let the knees fall wide so the soles of the feet are facing each other with the little toes connected. Legs are nice and heavy, falling away from one another. And you can either rest your hands onto your inner thighs to give them a little extra weighting here, or you can leave your hands alongside your body. If you've got a little bit more space in your hips to want to take that further, you can use your block with your knees wide. You can lift your hips and put your block underneath your sacrum, which is the flat part of your hips. So it gives the legs further distance to be able to fall. It keeps the front of the pelvis opening more. So I've totally fluffed my words there. Hang on, I'll take it to here. You can pop the block underneath your pelvis, underneath the flat part, the sacrum, so that you've got a nice bit of balance. Let the diamond legs come again, so the soles of the feet face each other, and it just opens a little more into the hips. So it's only really something you want to take if sitting on the floor is not really targeting your hips much at all. Allow your breath to stay nice and deep, so all the way down towards your belly. And slowly drawing the breath all the way out. We're just allowing the body to wind down here, so maybe closing your eyes to encourage your body to relax, to soften. allowing your body to feel nice and heavy, allowing those legs to keep falling down towards the floor. Great, and then use your hands to guide your knees back together. If you're on that block, pop the block out of the way. And then one at a time, let your legs release out onto the floor for your Savasana. Your arms alongside the body, turning the palms upwards. Just shuffle the shoulder blades towards each other slightly so the chest stays feeling nice and broad. Your feet will naturally fall away from each other. Let your eyes close and just spend a couple of moments here, keeping your attention on your breath and how your body feels, not allowing your mind to wander off elsewhere to what you're doing next or where you've been. And just give yourself nothing that needs to be done but to relax and to breathe. And then taking a nice deep breath in to reawaken the body, finding some movements in your fingers and your toes. Maybe taking a nice big stretch above your head as you point your toes for a full body stretch. And then you can draw your knees in towards your chest for a soft little squeeze before rolling your way up back into a comfortable seated shape. And you can always sit onto the block if you wish. Find that nice natural lift in your chest. Let your shoulders draw down away from the ears. Nice and heavy with the limbs and soft across the face. And then to close your practice, bring the hands together in front of the chest and softly bow the chin down. Thanks for watching and practicing along with me today. You can click here for more beginner-friendly yoga flows, or you can click here for my latest YouTube video. Don't forget to like and hit subscribe if you'd like to know when my next class is out. Welcome to this simple yoga sequence yoga class, which you can click here for some more beginner friend for my latest YouTube video if you want to.
Stop there.